네, 시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까? 이렇게 인사를 나눌 때마다 우리는 서로 정중하게 안녕을 묻습니다. 하지만 시대가 각박하다 보니 안녕하기가 참 쉽지 않습니다. 그래서인지 많은 분들이 명상에 관심을 갖고 있는데요. 오늘은 특별히 세계적인 명상가 한 분을 모셨습니다. 호주에서 오신 아잔 브라흐마 스님입니다. 네, 스님 안녕하십니까? 한국에 벌써 여러 번 오신 걸로 알고 있는데요. 한국과 한국 사람들에 대해서 어떤 느낌을 갖고 계신지 좀 먼저 말씀해 주시죠.
Korea is very cold. Korean people are very warm. So it balances.
가장 먼저 드리고 싶었던 질문인데요. 우리나라가 이렇게 보면 OECD 선진국이라고 하는데도 자살률도 세계에서 상당히 높은 편이고, 또 물질적으로는 상당히 풍요로워지고 잘 살게 됐는데 사람들은 늘 불행하거든요. 왜 그럴까요?
It is because Korea is very poor. Very rich in things, but poor in understanding emotions, understanding wisdom. A good example, one of the first stories in one of my books, is the story of the two bad bricks in the wall. When I started building a monastery in Australia 30 years ago, I had to work very hard. I had to lay bricks. I never laid bricks before. I was a theoretical physicist from Cambridge. But you can learn anything if you try and persist. And when I laid my first brick wall, I made sure every brick was perfect. But after laying that brick wall, I looked back and saw that two bricks were crooked. All the rest were perfect, but these two bad bricks spoiled the whole wall. So I tried to scrape the cement mortar out so I could reset those two bricks, but I could not. It spoiled the whole wall so much, I wanted to see if we could buy some dynamite to blow up the wall so I could start again. But I could not, we could not afford it. So for 3 months, I could always see every day the wall which I'd spoiled by two bad bricks. And I would have nightmares, waking up in the middle of the night being embarrassed about my failure to use the donations wisely. I made a mess of my first brick wall. Every time there were visitors, I'd volunteer to take them around so they could see something else instead of my mistakes. I was ashamed and embarrassed of my failure. And then one day, I was with a visitor. They saw that wall and they said it was a beautiful wall. And I could not understand what they were saying. So I said, "Sir, have you left your glasses in the car? Can't you see the two bad bricks?" And they say, "I can see the two bad bricks, but I can also see the 998 good bricks as well." And that was the first time in 3 months that I could see anything other than my mistakes. Whenever I saw that wall, my eyes would just go to those two mistakes, two bad bricks, and I was blind to everything else. And when that man pointed out there was a brick to the left, to the right, above and below, I realized I was the one who was blind, not him. For 3 months, I could only see my mistakes, and that was why I wanted to destroy that wall. That is the reason why people commit suicide. They see two bad bricks in their life, things which have happened to them which are very hard to endure, but they are blind to the 998 good things which surround those bad events. And that's why they want to destroy, why they're ashamed, why they're embarrassed. But if somehow the Dharma can teach them how to see the other bricks in the wall, the other things which happen to them in their life, then not only would they not commit suicide, but they would not separate from their wife, their husband, just because of 1 or 2 mistakes. And we'd also be much kinder to our government. Yes, they make 2 bad mistakes, 3 bad mistakes, but all the good things which they do for their people never get reported. We only focus on mistakes. That is why people commit suicide. That's why people get depressed. That's why people destroy good things.
예. 스님 말씀 듣고 보니까 이 사람들이 참 어리석다는 생각이 드는데요. 우리들은 누구나 행복하기를 원하잖아요. 그래서 살아가면서 삶의 에너지를 얻으려고 합니다. 그래서 뭐 좋은 차를 생각하거나 좋은 집을 또 만들려고 하고 또 좋은 가정을 꾸리려고 하는데 저는 그런 얘기 들었거든요. 처성자옥이다 해서 수행자들한테는 그게 어떻게 보면 또 올가미가 될 수도 있으니 수행에 방해가 되니까 내려놓아라. 그리고 욕망을 항상 이렇게 내려놓거나 멀리해야 할 것들로 이렇게 생각을 하는데 어떻게 그 밸런스를 이렇게 맞춰야 될지 고민일 때가 종종 있을 것 같거든요.
One has to know what to let go of and what to keep. If you're sitting on the back of a motorbike, you must attach. Do not let go. But also when we want to desire, we have to desire the correct things. An example is the story of a little boy, 6 years of age, who was waiting for his father to come home one evening. His father came back late, and his son said, "Daddy, how much do you earn at the office?" And the father said, "None of your business." "But Daddy, how many dollars do you earn every hour?" "I've told you, be quiet." "But Daddy, how much?" "That's it! Go back to your room. You're grounded." So the father punished his little son for disobedience, and he had to go up to his room. And after the father had relaxed, he realized he got angry at his son only because he was very tired after a difficult day at work. So he went up to his son's room, let himself in, and said sorry to his son. "I apologize for shouting at you. I don't know why a 6-year-old boy wants to know how much I earn, but it is $20 per hour at work." And the son smiled and said, "Thank you, Daddy. Now please, can I borrow $10? And the father would usually say no, but because he felt guilty about shouting at his son, he got out his wallet and gave his son a $10 bill. "Thank you, Daddy," said his 6-year-old. Then his 6-year-old opened a little drawer next to his bed and counted out another $10 in coins, making $20 in all, handed it to his father and said, "Daddy, can I now please have 1 hour of your time?" And the meaning of that story is that what children really desire, more than a good education or more than expensive things, is time with their mummy, and especially time with their father. If we only know what we should be desiring, Korea will be a much more wonderful place.
감사합니다. 말씀하신 것처럼 좀 전에 우화에서 말씀하신 것처럼 그 순간에 사람들과의 관계에 있어서 우리가 늘 좀 마음대로 되지 않는 게 그 감정이잖아요. 그 아버지도 지금 화가 나는데 그 순간에는 그 화를 아들한테 냈듯이 뭔가 이 관계에 있어서 그런 상황에 직면했을 때 잘 통제를 할 수 있으면 좋은데 스님도 가끔은 화가 날 때가 있으실 것 같거든요. 그럴 때는 우리가 어떻게 해야 될지 좀 지혜를 말씀해 주시죠.
No, I don't have moments of anger. I've noticed many years ago that anger does not help. And most anger comes from tiredness. People in Korea and many other countries in this world have to work so hard and they don't know how to rest, which means that they are perpetually tired. When you are tired, you do not have any resilience. A small thing makes you angry. So we need to be able to rest much better, which is one of the reasons why meditation is taking over the Western world. They call it mindfulness, but it is practiced in almost every corporation, even in governments such as the British House of Parliament introduced mindfulness. Senator Jack Ryan in Congress is trying to introduce that into the Congress and the Senate. in Washington because it is well known that when a person learns how to rest, they don't get so negative and angry, which means not only do we not shout at each other, but we can work more harmoniously together and we don't get angry. These are old Buddhist practices which Korea used to know so well, not just the monks and the nuns, but everybody. And you've lost those practices. And it's part of the reason for this conference, this meeting, to bring those practices back to the Korean people, so they can learn how to let go of their worries, to let go of their anger, so that they can relax. When they relax, they can have much more love to their family, much more peace in their own hearts. And they realize that anger is never the way forward, it's only the way backwards.
그 스님 책 가운데서 제가 비밀을 하나 말씀드리면 제가 원숭이 띠거든요. 근데 그래서 그 최근의 책, 그 원숭이에 관한 책이 있었잖아요. 그 제목을 그렇게 단. 근데 그 책을 보면서 평상시에도 간혹 이렇게 명상을 하거나 있다고 그럴 때 보면 생각들이 진짜 그 원숭이처럼 그렇게 막 올라올 때가 많은데 어떻게 정말 잠재울 수 있을까요?
The first method is to understand why a person has a monkey mind. Why does your mind keep running away from you? It is because it's afraid of you. Because you're afraid of peace. It is fear. And a story that one afternoon you receive a call from your friend. The friend says, "Are you free this afternoon?" You say, "Yes. Come out for a cup of coffee." He said, "Okay, but we're not going to go to your coffee shop, we're going to go to my coffee shop. We're not going to drink your coffee, we're going to drink my type of coffee. You're not going to have a muffin, you're going to have a biscuit, because I like biscuits. We're going to sit in the back, not in the front where you like to sit. And we're going to talk about politics, not Dhamma, because I don't like Dhamma. We're going to talk about politics. And we're going to sit there for 1 hour. Okay?" Now, if you receive an invitation from someone who tells you what to do, where to go, what to drink, what to talk about, you will not want to go. That's called control freak. It's not a friend. So you make up an excuse. Something like, "I just remembered I've got to go to the dentist. Oh, sorry, next time." You'll cancel it. You'll run away. But then you receive another phone call from a friend who says, "Are you free this afternoon?" You say, "No, I've just made an appointment to my dentist." "Oh, that's a shame, because you're always telling me about this wonderful coffee shop which you love to go to, and the delicious lattes are to die for, and the muffins are just so delicious. You're always talking about your Buddhism. I don't know about Buddhism, but I'm interested. And we can sit out the front where you like to sit. And if somebody wants to drink your drink and your coffee shop, eat what you like, talk about what you want, where you want, you would say, "I'm cancelling the dentist appointment, I'm going." You don't run away from friends. You run away from control freaks. The reason why your mind wanders off is because you are that control freak. You're always very hard upon yourself, very critical, never forgiving, which is why when you try to meditate or try to be still, the mind runs away anywhere to get away from you. Which is why the old Buddhist compassion, forgiveness, kindness to yourself is a way to overcome thoughts. When you're so compassionate, not just to other people, but to yourself, more forgiving, you're not a bad man. Yeah, you've done bad things, but you're mostly a good man. Many more good bricks in the wall than bad bricks. And you don't want to run away in fantasies, in plans which will never happen, into a past which you can never change. Or people will not run away into alcohol or drugs. There is a drug problem in Korea. What are people trying to run away from? Themselves. Because they know no kindness. to themselves.
예. 말씀하신 그 두려움, 삶에서 우리들이 늘 갖고 있는 그 두려움, 그 기절을 보면 죽음에 대한 그 두려움일 수도 있고, 작게는 이제 그 삶에서 만나는 여러 가지 어려움들에 대한 두려움 때문에 피하기 위해서 그런 대체물들을 이렇게 방법들을 생각을 하는 것 같은데요. 용감하게 그런데 직면할 수 있는 방법이 있다면 어떻게 말씀해 주시겠습니까?
It's not the fear of death which people have, it's the fear of dying. But anyway, recently I read a cartoon from Peanuts, Charlie Brown and Snoopy. You know those characters? Charlie Brown and Snoopy were sitting on a pier in a beautiful countryside by a lake. And Charlie Brown says to his dog Snoopy, "You know, one day we will all die." And Snoopy replies, "Yes, but most days we will not die." Now that is the problem. People are afraid because they think, one day we will die, one day we will die, one day we will die. But the wise person understands, yes, but most days you will not die. We were supposed to have this assembly of meditation masters last year. It was cancelled because of the MERS crisis. I don't call it the MERS crisis, I call it the fear crisis. So many people were afraid. How many people contracted MERS? How many people did not contract MERS? No people reported how many people did not. The trouble is these days, a few people died in an air crash and nobody wants to fly. We're afraid. If we only were reasonable, wise, we would think that most people who fly do not die. Only a tiny percentage die. But fear makes that percentage me. Fear is one of the worst parts of our world. It is used to control us. And a religion like Buddhism teaches you how to live life without fear. And when you live life without fear, bad things don't happen to you. Whatever you do, fear is going to happen. You make it happen. Recently, I was giving another talk at our local cancer group in Australia. I've been going there 26 years, every year without fail, to give a lecture. And they told me this year why. Because 26 years ago, there was one woman who had cancer, was in remission, but was so worried. What happens if the cancer comes back? What happens if it comes back? What happens if it comes back? And she heard me say the answer to that question, which was, what happens if it doesn't come back? And she understood that straight away, and it didn't come back. She comes back every year, but the cancer never did. If she'd have worried about that cancer coming back, the fear would have caused so much stress that the cancer would have come back. When she overcame her fear by thinking, what happens if it doesn't come back? Then she didn't think about it anymore, which meant it never came back. That's why fear is one of the worst diseases in our modern world.
예. 스님께서는 30년 동안 이 불교 명상을 공부를 해오셨는데, 우리나라에 보면 시쳇말로 이제 이런 말이 있어요. 사람들이 좀 어려움에 직면하거나 그러면, 머리 깎고 그냥 절에나 들어갔으면 좋겠다, 이런 얘기를 많이 하거든요. 체념하듯이. 근데, 과연 그 일반 수행자하고, 그 다음에 이 스님처럼 구도자하고, 절에서 이 전적으로 하시는 구도자하고 어떤 차이가 있을까요?
First, I've been meditating for about 45 years now. Well, 47 years. So I became a monk when I was 23. I'm now 65. So 42 years as a monk. But I never became a monk to run away from suffering. I became a monk to run towards happiness and truth and meaning. I was a very successful young man, a degree in theoretical physics from Cambridge University, a good job, handsome, popular with the girls, many girlfriends. I wasn't rich, but I had enough. So why did I run away? I did not run away, I ran towards, not running away from things, but run towards happiness and peace and truth. So that's why I joined a temple, and why many other monks in my monastery joined the temple. They are not failures in life, they are highly successful. A good example of that is one of my friends, who is the only son of the second richest man in Malaysia. His father is a multi-billionaire. His son is a Buddhist monk with no money at all. Why would the only son of a multi-billionaire, the second richest man in Malaysia, go to become a monk? He's not running away from suffering. As the son of a billionaire, he could become playboy. He can get any girl, go to any place, have his own private jets. But he realized there was something more than that, and that's what he ran towards happiness. And all these teachings in our modern world are now becoming more and more relevant. An example, this time last year, in February 2015, I was in San Francisco, in Mountain View, giving a talk in Google headquarters. And when Google headquarters, which was the biggest company in the world, when my talk was publicized, I also received an invitation from Facebook to go to their headquarters too. These are modern companies who wanted Buddhist monks to come and teach them their life values. You find that many successful people in our modern world, people like Steve Jobs was also a Buddhist. Many people accept Buddhism as not a way of leaving the world. If they want to go towards happiness full time, yes, they become monks and nuns. But if not, if they're in the world like a Steve Jobs or a Chade Meng Tan who was running Google, these are all the people who realize that the Dhamma enhances their life, makes it richer in both senses of the world, makes their family life better, their health better. Every 2 years, I usually travel to Toronto in Canada, where I give a lecture as part of a university course in Toronto University. It's part of the undergraduate medical school, and the course is entitled Buddhism, Medicine and Psychology. Why is that? It's because these teachings have huge value for the secular world, for keeping people healthy, for overcoming cancers, relieving people from depression, getting rid of people's negativity and suicide. It's huge. And I think Korea, being such an old traditional Buddhist culture, has had all these incredible jewels of the Dhamma, which it is time that you should mine and make use of. It's like you're sitting on a gold mine and worrying about where you can find some money. So that is Korean Buddhism.
스님은 신뢰되는 질문인지 모르겠습니다만 왜 수행자가 되셨습니까? 예를 들면 그냥 제가 수행자로서 법을 찾아서 수행하는 것과 그렇게 해서 어떤 분들은 그렇게 얘기하잖아요. 자기가 맡고 있는 이 일상적인 일들이 그것도 뭐 스님이 하는 일과 크게 다르지 않다. 굳이 뭐 이렇게 전적으로 전업 수행자가 되지 않아도 충분히 너의 이 땅에서의 미션이나 이런 거 법을 찾아서 갈 수 있다 얘기를 하는데 왜 스님이 되셨습니까? 그렇게 해서도 법을 찾을 수 있었을 텐데.
When I was at university, I decided there was 2 things I wanted to achieve in life. One was the ability to serve and help others in some career, to be of service and use to others. But I also realized I had to have happiness in wisdom in my own heart before I could help others. So I did here. I was a Buddhist for many years, and my meditation was very good. So you got enormous peace and joy and stillness in your meditation, even as a student at Cambridge. And I looked around all the other professors I knew. The system in Cambridge was such that every professor or lecturer was assigned to one college with the students. So the students and the professors were always socializing together. It was a wonderful system whereby the students could be inspired by the professors, and the professors could get new ideas from their students. It was a very good win-win situation for all. But I do remember sitting next to Nobel laureates for dinner. These were people at the top of their professional career, and realizing they were not happy, they were not peaceful, they were brilliant in chemistry, but stupid in life. And I realized that that's not the way I wanted to be. So I left Cambridge and pursued a career in a monastery. In the tradition I went into in Thailand, you can become a monk for however long you want. You can leave at any time. So it was a try and see. But even after a few days I realized that this was my path. A path whereby you can get immense happiness. Please excuse me, but I've never seen a lay person have the sort of happiness which I have through deep meditation. And also your ability to serve others, to actually to give and help, to be able to see outside of the box, because you live outside of the box, where you can give teachings, not about Buddhism. You give teachings about Buddhism and the Dhamma, but you give teachings. The last time I was here in Korea was in Daejeon in last September, where I gave the keynote address, the opening talk for the 2015 World Computer Congress. I'm a Buddhist monk. Why would a Buddhist monk be giving a keynote address at a computer congress? It's because what I know can serve all areas of life. And that is where I get my fulfillment. I can serve so much more than in other parts of life. That is why I'm a monk, stay as a monk, and I'm a very happy, fulfilled monk.
스님께서 포교하고 계신 그 수행 방법이 위파사나 수행으로 저희가 알고 있거든요. 그 위파사나 수행이 어떤 건지 좀 소개를 좀 간략하게 해주시면 좋겠습니다.
First of all, it is not vipassana that I teach. I think you got that from maybe Burmese monks. So the type of meditation which I teach is the same as the Buddha taught. It's much more than vipassana. It includes also kindness, mindfulness and stillness, especially stillness. I will now give you a demonstration. You see this cup of water, this cup of tea here? I am now going to hold this cup of tea perfectly still. Has it stopped moving yet? Please be honest, I want it to be perfectly still. Is it moving? Yeah. So I will concentrate. Has it stopped moving yet? Yeah, still moving. Doesn't matter how long I hold this cup of tea, the tea will always move when I'm holding it. That is how many people try to meditate, trying to hold their mind still. The only way for this tea to become perfectly still, when you put it down and let it go. Now I put it down and let it go, and be patient. And after a few seconds, that tea is perfectly still. That's how we meditate. We let go of past and future. We also let go of will. And when we put our mind down, it becomes still all by itself. That is how we meditate. Once it becomes still, it's like a lake in the mountains. When a lake in the mountains has waves on its surface, you cannot see an accurate image of the moon and the stars in the heavens above. Only when the lake is perfectly still, when there's not even a ripple on the surface, only then do you get a perfect reflection of the heavens above. In the same way, only when the human mind is perfectly still, no thoughts, no will, only then do you have a perfect reflection of the truth, of the Dhamma. It is the thoughts, the movement, the will, which distorts life.
예. 대답하시는 스님 눈을 이렇게 마주하고 있으니까 그 호수를 보고 있는 듯한 잔잔한 그런 느낌이 드는데, 근데 사실은 이렇게 평안하게 앉아서 명상을 하고 있는 사람들을 보면 사실 그 뉴스 같은 데 보면 뭐 전쟁이니 뭐 이런 시끄러운 얘기들이 많잖아요. 사고도 많고 좋은 얘기들이 별로 없는데, 반대로 이렇게 명상하고 있는 사람들을 보면 좀 너무 한가해 보이고 사치스러울 정도로, 그 다음에 좀 이렇게 반사회적인 듯한 그런 느낌을 받을 때가 있어요. 예. 어떻게 해야 할지, 사회 참여적인 부분과 자기 수행적인 부분을.
Again, many people in our world are practicing meditation. In Google and Facebook, they have meditation rooms. In Dell Computing, they call it Time Out Room. Major corporations have a place where any time of the day or night, workers can go and meditate. In Harvard, it is called, from my teachings, it is called an investment of time. If a person could learn how to be still for half an hour in the middle of your workday, yes, you'd be losing half an hour from work, but you'd make it up by getting 3 hours done in 2 in the afternoon. What people fail to realize is by the afternoon your brain is tired. It needs to be recharged. But people don't know how to recharge their brain, so they keep pushing in the afternoon, which is why they get extremely tired, stressed and angry. Half an hour in the middle of the day, in the afternoon or a lunch hour, is a time when you're not productive at all. But you are recharging your brain. So now afterwards it's running at full efficiency. If you are writing some questions or a report, ideas come up very quickly. You can think of the words straight away. But when your brain is tired, the words don't come, ideas don't come. You are tired. Which is one of the reasons why when people meditate at work in their life, it means they make more time. They are more productive. So this is why we can bring that meditation into the workplace. And it's the same for the monks. One of the problems, I'm going to maybe get into trouble with some monks for this, but I agree with you, some monks live far too luxuriously. Where I live, if ever you come and see my accommodation, I sleep on the floor in a small cave, maybe about 3 meters diameter, it's round. That's where I live. I keep it extremely simple, as an example to others, and also to show that we don't need very much. So it is wonderful when monks can teach not only by their words, but by example. So that is important for the monks in Korea, to also live very simple lives of service, of kindness, So they're not there to amass wealth, they're there to give wisdom and give inspiration. It's the same with people also in the Christian church as well, far too wealthy. I was brought up as a Christian. Jesus never carried things around. He never had wealth. So there's something wrong with religion today when people who are supposed to be religious leaders do not lead by example.
한국에서도 이 명상 인구가 최근에 점점 늘고 하시는 분들이 많거든요. 관심을 갖고 책도 보고 자료도 보고. 근데 스님은 어떻게 보면 아주 운이 좋은 케이스이실지도 몰라요. 아잔차 스님이라는 훌륭한 스승을 만났으니까요. 근데 대부분 사람들이 스님을 스승을 찾고는 있지만 못 만나는 경우도 많고 그런데 이 수행을 하기 위해서는 스승이 반드시 필요한 건지 아니면 혼자 이렇게 계속 수행을 해도 되는 건지 말씀해 주시죠.
It is important to have a teacher on the path, but we are very lucky these days because you do not need to even meet your teacher face to face. You don't even need to go to their temple to meet them or live in the same country. We now live in an age where you can log in and choose your teacher online. And many people do that. I have many, many disciples who I've never met, who live in far-off countries in the world, even in Muslim countries where they're not supposed to listen to Dhamma teachings. It's illegal. Still they listen. It's their only source they have. They have a teacher, a guide. So now we can have access to some of the greatest teachings and teachers without even needing to leave our office or our home. And sometimes the people say, well, you should only have one teacher. But I always remember in university, we had many teachers who specialized in different parts of theoretical physics. So why can't we do the same with Dhamma? There are some teachers who are excellent in meditation. Others are excellent in compassion. And not always the same teacher. So isn't it a wonderful thing in our modern world? We can learn from many teachers. We can combine the best of each and thereby grow to the best of our potential. And I don't care what tradition you are from or what country you are from. I've been looking at you for the last hour. You're Korean. I was born in England, lived in Australia. There's no difference between us. And my friends here, they're Jogje monks. They're my friends. They've come to stay in my temple in Perth. And they've got lots and lots of friends. We're just brothers. We're monks. We don't care. Mahayana, Theravada, Vajrayana, Hinayana. Those are words which have, as they say, on the packets of fruit or cereals, they're way past their use-by date. Now we live in a world where those barriers have come down. Races, sects, genders, there should be no barriers anymore. Human beings, good people. And I don't care what part of Buddhism you're from. I don't care what race you are. You're my brother in the Dhamma. We are brothers. We have the same father, the Buddha. We're brothers.
주위에 이제 그렇게 우울해하는 사람들이 한국에는 부쩍 많은 것 같은데 그런 사람들에게 어떻게 도움을 줄 수 있습니까? 이 명상하는 사람들이?
One of the reasons people are in depression is because of tiredness. People in Korea work too hard. They don't know how to relax. And also they're emotionally very tired too. One reason why people get depressed is because they're always criticized. They're never praised. If you want to just keep a log, when you speak to your wife, how many times do you praise her? How many times do you criticize her? You'll be surprised. Without realizing it, when she does something nice, makes you a nice meal, you just take it for granted. If she's late, or does something wrong, you point out her faults. It's not just you, but it's at work as well. It's in life. We're always fault finders, pointing out what's wrong with our government, with ourselves, with our children especially. Which is why that just by praising, rather than with criticizing, we build up people's self-esteem, their inner strength, their confidence, so they don't feel they're such failures in life. So praise a lot, criticize a little. And the other thing is that people have such a low opinion of themselves. So ask your wife to go out for a walk in the forest and find a perfect tree, by which I mean one which is straight, not crooked, one with all the branches in the correct place, no branches having been torn off by a storm, with only green leaves, no yellow or brown leaves, with a bark perfectly smooth without any damage. She'll never be able to find a tree like that in a natural forest. And if she does, it's not a beautiful tree. The most beautiful trees in the forest are the ones which are crooked and bent, with lots of yellow leaves and brown leaves, with a bark which has got lots of damage from storms and other injuries. They are trees which are the most beautiful in the forest. So when she looks at herself, she is like the damaged tree, crooked and bent because of the storms of life, the difficulties and problems she's had to endure. When she sees that, it's not a fault in her. It's what makes her beautiful. She belongs as one of the beautiful natural trees in the forest of humanity. In fact, the more damaged people are, the more beautiful they can become. So we change our ideas of what we're supposed to be. She should stop trying to be the perfect mother, the perfect wife, the perfect businesswoman, or whatever she does in the world, and be the crooked, beautiful tree she is. And if she looks at you, remember that you're very crooked, you're very bent. You've got lots of scars on you from life. That's what makes you a beautiful human being. When we change our ideas on what we're supposed to be, what our idea of perfection is, then much of depression will vanish.
스님이 호주의 그 명상 센터를 그 미장리를 직접 배우셔가지고 손수 지으셨다고 들었는데 그것도 수행의 일종인가요?
It's part of practice to do whatever is necessary. As a Buddhist monk, we spend lots of time meditating, lots of time serving. In this time of my Buddhist life, I spend a lot of time having my photograph taken and writing and signing books. I'm so popular in Indonesia. It's a Muslim country, but many Muslims read my books there. And after some talks, I have to wait for 2 hours, signing books, having photograph taken, signing books, having my photograph taken, for 2 hours. And I never thought, as a Buddhist monk, you should be like that. But it makes people happy. It gives people inspiration. And every person, those couple of thousand of people lining up, is important. For them, just to stand in front of me and have a smile, have their book signed, means a lot to them. That's why, as a Buddhist monk, you don't think of yourself. You think of others a lot. Kindness, compassion. That's what runs a Buddhist monk's life.
자, 앞으로 스님께서 이 명상과 수행과 관련해서 갖고 계신 계획도 좀 말씀해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
In meditation, that's the last thing we do, plan for the future. I notice if I don't plan for the future, things go wrong. If I do plan for the future, they go wrong anyway. Whether you plan or you don't plan, things still go wrong. There's no difference. So that is why a lot of time we should learn how to adapt. If we do make plans, they should be plans made out of rubber, so we can bend them, adapt them, not made out of concrete, which you bend them, it cracks. And that is modern business practice as well. Every business has to adapt quickly. They have to put away all their plans and change them at a moment's notice if they're going to survive. If you're going to enjoy your life, if you're going to have a meaningful, fulfilling life, have plans, but only made out of rubber. Plans which you can throw away at a moment's notice to take a better course, a different way. Don't be a prisoner of plans.
자, 아잔브라함 스님과 인터뷰하는 내내 저는 굉장히 즐거웠습니다. 스님의 눈을 앞에서 바라보면서 얘기하는 내내 때로는 뭐 감동의 눈물이 흐르기도 하고 또 아주 즐거운 시간이었기도 했습니다. 자, 오늘 굉장히 바쁜 일정 가운데 시간 내주셔서 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.